Right.
You know, I mean, I'd like to see them come up and fight back tonight, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's hard to get people who have been bulldozed around and people who have been basically conditioned, you know, not to fight for
Mm-hmm.
themselves. So it's difficult. I don't know what kind of a turnout we'll have here tonight. You know, I know there'll be a few of us here, and there's a few coming. And the word is out at the drum circle that when drum circle gets over, we may have others. But at least there'll be somebody over here sleeping in front of City Hall. And I also have a very good witness now that has overheard Dana Hines, the spokesperson for the mayor, having private conversations in the hallway with Channel 6 News, manipulating and orchestrating what kinds of video to footage to shoot so that his dialogue to the public and how he could manipulate the news.
You mean
to the
creating
public.
the narrative?
Creating the narrative, absolutely. We have a witness that actually witnessed Dana Hines having a conversation in the City Hall
With who?
with Channel 6 News reporters, basically directing them to get what kind of shots he needed. Yeah,
To push whatever corporate narrative and
absolutely.
classes,
In order to
displacement crap
in
that
order
they're
to
doing.
further make us all look even more intensely dangerous, you know, to the public. When in fact, what they've done is that they've agitated homeless people and created a more dangerous public by agitating them. So it's basically it's blowing up in their face, and unless they're out here living on these streets, they don't know about this happening. But I'm watching this happen every single day out here, you know, and I'm talking to people, and people are bringing me a lot of information. So that's how I came up with, that's how I discovered the witness, you know, that overheard the conversation in City Hall.
Would you be willing to set up an interview with them?
I would. Yeah, I would. I'd like to see the result. I'd like to see the looks on their faces, you know, when they get confronted.
I'm sorry. Would you be willing to set up an interview with them, the compliance officer, which reports to the Department of Justice and deals with them?
Oh, sure. To give them the information I have?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I'd give that
Because
to them.
in that way they can. What happens when the public, with a capital P, in other
Yeah,
words, you know what I
right.
mean, from the legal standpoint,
Right.
when they say X is happening, and then they have a member of the community here,
Right.
the Community Oversight Advisory Board, that says, hey, John Q. Public, or Joe Freedom,
Made
right?
this statement, yeah.
made this statement, can we get together and talk with him in a focus group?
Sure.
See what I mean? And
Sure.
then you are directing the compliance officers about where to look for the data
Right.
or the systems that are in place to enforce those sorts of policies
Right.
wherever they're generated.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
There's also been enough video compiled over the sweeps, you know, to show that, you know, there's various OSHA, you know, infractions. You know, there's various, you know, they're not coming 24 hours. They're actually hanging up the notices as they sweep people out, rather than coming 24 hours ahead of time and posting it and giving people an opportunity to vacate.
So it's what you're saying. It's inhumane. Right? And it's mistreatment.
And it's
Basically,
illegal, and
it's
preemptive,
illegal, it's
preemptive
preemptive.
strikes on places that don't
Absolutely.
even have campsites,
Right.
which is totally illegal
Right.
to put up a
Right.
eviction notice
Right.
when
Yeah,
there's not
I'm
even a
seeing,
campsite there, you know?
I'm seeing,
I have that stuff on
Right.
video
I was
of
over
a clear
in,
campsite and eviction notices.
Yeah, I was
and I'm sure you have
riding
too.
around over in the entire southeast area where St. Francis is, where there's a large homeless population, and every wall now has a poster on it about illegal camping, even in areas where nobody ever camped.
What kind of message does that send the houseless or homeless? Or what kind of message do you think that sends somebody that's mentally ill? Maybe
Well,
somebody that's psychotic or schizophrenic or bipolar, right?
Well, they would
Somebody
rather
who-
see us die in the streets by some other cause, you know, by some cause, you know, or exposure or something. You know, I just had a conversation with a guy from some other part of the country, and I forget where, he said, well, we don't have a homeless problem in my city. I go, yes you do, they're all here. You know, and that's because their cities choose genocide rather than at least attempting to feed them and house them and shelter them, where we have, you know, been a little more accepting and at least made an attempt, you know, to service the homeless here.
Which is basically because of community resistance. And
resistance,
and because
exactly.
we won't take the same stuff that others do.
Absolutely.
We actually stand up for ourselves a little better.
stand up
I've got
for those
artwork
people
over
who
there
are
if you'd
being
like to look at
mistreated.
it.
Yeah.
That's why we're not like Florida, where you can't even feed the homeless or anything
Right.
in most cities.
Right, and they hide it behind the health issues.
And it's like also, you know, the first night they have these sweeps.
Yes, we love
What
each other.
happened, you know?
And I hope
Oh,
this is on
someone
my
died
TV
on
because
St.
Oprah-
Francis.
I really like to start a record company, and I'd like to sign on
so
all
that's
the
a
city of
real,
Los Angeles.
was that coincidental?
Has brought you angel
You know?
stars singing
Don't know,
songs
you know?
from Book
But,
of Love. Even
either-
after
But
either way, you know,
had there been more help or better help or a place for this person, would that have happened? You know, maybe not, you know? But the thing is, the guy never had a chance.
just the
You
slow
never had an
death
opportunity.
sentence out
Yeah.
here, basically.
Nowhere to go.
And nowhere to go. You push one guy from one doorway to another doorway, and then that's where he dies in his addiction. Rather than what they say is they're claiming that they're trying to connect us with services. What services? The same services that for the last who knows how many years that have failed time and time and time again, and they continue to give money to them time and time and time again, which never reaches a homeless person, but it will create one more line for somebody to have to stand in.
I have heard, and this is my question.
Yeah.
I have heard from the Portland Police Bureau behavioral health unit that they have some 53 beds or something like that, but that in order to be admitted, you have to have a drug or alcohol problem.
Right, a drug or alcohol related.
Have you heard of anybody that you know of on this? Can you verify that that's actually happening?
No. I've met nobody that's ever gone to any of their facilities.
One thing I'll tell you about
Which makes me
Central
wonder
City
if they even
Concern,
exist.
Central City Concern, we have a medical marijuana program in the state of Oregon, right? So I was homeless. As an OMMP,
Well, they
Medical
asked them
Marijuana
if they want a
Program
sandwich.
card holder. I went to try and get housing.
okay.
I couldn't even get into housing because I smoke weed.
Right.
And even though I have a legal card for it, I can't get into their housing because they receive federal funding mainly. That's one of their major funders.
Right.
So it's again. So basically, I could use meth, I could use cocaine, heroin, blah blah blah. I could get into their housing, but you know, if I just smoke weed, which is legal and which is going to be, I wonder if they're going to change their policy in the next month when they actually legalize weed here. No,
Well, that'll be interesting because I already know that Bud Clark Commons, you know, they'll give you a place to stay for 30 days and then get you signed up for housing. But it's only if you qualify for a certain kind of disabilities or Social Security, you know, so they can get federal funding for that. You know, so they cherry pick a lot of their clients, and then at the end of the month, if you're not able to pay for a month, you know, if you're not able to pay a monthly rent on your own, then they just see you later out the door. You know, so they use people who have disabilities in order, or you admit to having an alcohol or a drug problem, in which now you become an alcoholic or a drug addict, you know. And there are people who have actually lied and said, yes, I have an alcohol drug problem just to get housing.
Oh, I almost went that route myself.
Oh yeah,
actually,
that was a temptation that was presented to me.
Yeah, a lot of people actually tell you out here living on the streets, just go get
Go
yourself
tell them you
a
got a
habit.
problem and you're in.
A lot of people tell me actually go get yourself a habit. They were
And then
telling
you
me
go
go
sit
get
in one
yourself
of
a
these-
habit and then you'll get into housing.
Then you get into a 10 by
Sounds
10
like-
room that basically
that a-
is full of cockroaches
Is
and
that a
bed
good
bugs.
option?
You know, and then the
What did you just
recidivism
say?
rate.